For about the last 2 weeks, I've been talking about Prismatic Evolution's Pokemon Center ETBs. And the reason why I've been talking about these ETBs so much is because about a month ago, we got a restock of these PC ETBs, and I've been just emphasizing how great of an opportunity this was to buy into these PC ETBs because of this restock. And, I made previous videos talking about this, and some people agree, being like, yeah, this is a good opportunity. But there's also a lot of other people that don't agree, saying that you're crazy, you're buying too high, it's gonna keep dropping, it's too expensive. So I've gotten some mixed feedback on, I guess, my, thoughts about the opportunity here with these PCETBs for Prismatic. But I think I have emphasized though that out of all the Prismatic products that have recently gotten restocked, this was one of the safer ones, or pretty much the safest one to buy. And why is that? So, if you look at past history with Pokemon Center ETBs, they don't get reprinted into the ground. That's not a thing with these, right? You could argue regular ETBs because we have some evidence of that, like from Sword and Shield, right? We have some evidence of that. Booster boxes, we have some evidence of that, right? In the past. But we don't have evidence of like PC ETBs being printed into the absolute ground and just being worth nothing for long periods of time. In Scarlet and Violet specifically, we've never seen that, right? So, buying from a restock usually is going to be the cheapest price for the most part, right? And your chance to get in at a discount. Because usually after like a singular restock, they don't come back. That's usually how it is, right? So Prismatic Evolution's getting this restock of PC ETBs, the way I saw it was your one chance really to get these at a large discount because, like I said, these don't get printed into the ground. So the arguments that are being made that these are going to go drop even further, I feel like, I just don't agree with it because, in my opinion, the only way these drop even more than what they've dropped before, I guess from this restock, is if they get printed into the ground, which we've never seen. So I just don't believe that's going to be the case, which is why I've emphasized so much that this was a great opportunity and a great buy because this dropped from $340 all the way to $230 to $240. So it dropped about $100 from this restock. And this is a specialty set. Now, if you don't know, specialty sets don't have booster boxes, which makes PC ETBs basically the most premium and I guess sought after collectible product from the set. So the fact that you can get the top product at like $100 discount from a restock, is that not an obvious buy and opportunity? I know some people don't agree because it's still over MSRP. It's 4 times MSRP. It's gonna keep dropping. Like, unless you're on that boat of like the MSRP, like this was one of the most obvious buys in my opinion to buy on this restock because I really highly doubt they'll restock these again. Could it be an anomaly? Maybe Prismatic, they decide to do it. Maybe. But I just don't see it really happening. I don't see there to be a reason why they would reprint the PC ETBs into the ground versus, you could maybe argue, regular ETBs or booster bundles or some other product. So I really think buying from this restock was sort of your one chance to buy these. And that's why I've bought plenty. You guys have seen the evidence. I've showed you guys that I bought the PC ETBs. I've bought like a good amount. So I'm not just saying that this was a great opportunity, not doing it myself. I really believe that this was a great opportunity to buy in the low 200s from this restock. It was one of the best opportunities and one of the best products to buy from the Prismatic Evolutions restocks and just basically anything in the market because of just how much the prices dropped. But some people still didn't want to buy them. But I'm here making this video to tell you and show you that these have gone up pretty considerably from the TCG Player sale. And honestly, looking at where this is going, this is like your last chance to buy these before they go above 300. And if you're still on board with these are going to go below even what they dropped to before, which was like 230, 240, if you think they're going to drop below that somehow in the future, don't buy, okay? But if, in my opinion, you're, somewhat, I guess, smart and you're thinking about this thoroughly, buying something, a few boxes from this restock, getting a huge discount would probably be smart in my opinion. Even though you're paying above MSRP, it's smart to do that. But I mean, so many people still can't grasp that MSRP at this point does not mean anything. But hey, it is what it is. So, like I said, this restock really, or this sale really drove the prices up for these PC ETBs because they were recently on TCG Player for around 250. Now lowest listed is 290, and you can see here from the sale, you can see a huge increase of 48 boxes were sold. Now, when you actually see the supply in the market, you can see how quickly this goes up to 300. Yeah, it's not much here. So we can just count to see where this goes back up to. Previously it was like around 340. So we can just see how many boxes are left. And you can see even before the sale, there was a good amount of sales volume here. So let's just count. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 21, what is it, 21, 23, 24, and we're basically back to where we were, 25. If we go on this next page, it goes up to like 340 around here. So not many boxes are holding this back on TCG Player from rebounding to exactly where it was at before. And as you can see, if you look at the 1 month chart, it was basically almost exactly a month ago when this restock happened. So I'm just showing you guys here the supply and the data of sales volume that these could quickly go up back to where they were and rebound in just a month. You had all this time to buy from the restock, and if you don't want to buy it and you didn't want to buy it and you still don't want to buy it, they're probably going to rebound here, I would say in the next week or two, back to where they were at 340. And if then you decide to buy these for some reason, you missed out on a $100 discount for this PC ETB. I truly believe this was one of the easiest and most obvious buys on the market, but some people out there didn't believe in it. But I did because I spent like thousands of dollars buying these because I truly think this was one of the best opportunities out there, and I acted on it. However, I will say something. On TCG Player, as you can see, it's 290 lowest listed, but eBay, there are still some listings. I really truly believe if this price holds up on TCG Player and things are continuing to sell in the next coming days, eBay is going to get cleaned out. So I'm letting you know right now, there are still some deals for these PC ETBs, and if you really want to buy these, you kind of gotta buy them, I would say, in the next couple of days. Because if this price holds up, they're all going to get sold on eBay. Trust me, looking at how this market has been behaving, eBay usually, if prices on TCG Players skyrockets for a product, it takes a couple days for eBay to adjust all the cheaper listings to sell out. Then you're just paying market on eBay. So like I said, eBay, you can see here, there's a listing, $250. I don't know if any of these are highly rated sellers. You'll have to check for yourself. But I'm just going to show you there are some listings left. But you can see, and you will notice, a lot of the 230s, 240s, a lot of them are gone. There's a few that you can still buy for around 250, but you will notice a huge increase of just listings above that now. So some for 260, here for 280, for around 260, 260, even 260 is not that bad. 250, 275, 285, 270, one for like 260. Keep going. 260, 275, 275, 250, 275, 275. As you can see here, when I'm showing you, there are some you can buy from 250, 260, but there's a lot more listings for the high 200s now. There was a huge abundance of listings. Even just a few days ago, for 230, for like 240, 250, but they're really selling now, and at this point the cheapest you can find is around 250. There's like a few listings on here. Everything else is in the 275 range. So I really think next few days, the boxes right now you're seeing for 250, 260, if that TCG Player's price holds up, these are going to sell out. So I'm just letting you know. I'm trying to, just be honest here. If you want to buy these, probably wouldn't wait. You can still check locally, but on eBay, that's probably going to be your cheapest place because TCG Player prices and lowest listed have moved up now to almost $300. Now, I made this comparison before, and it's just to, I guess, rationalize things or use data to show why, in my opinion, the low 200s, mid 200s, where these PC ETBs for Prismatic have dropped, really is a great pickup in my opinion. Look at 151. Now 151, you know, I always compare Prismatic to, because in my opinion it's like they're the comparable sets in terms of specialty sets for being possibly argued to be the best one. I still think Prismatic overall being that, you know, like what at this point, like 6 times, 5 times more valuable than, you know, 151. I think Prismatic is technically on paper the better set. If 151 PC ETBs can get to being almost $500, right? And this set is not even 2 years old yet. You think Prismatic PC ETBs in a year from now is not going to be somewhere in the range of 151 PC ETBs? In Prismatic, like I said, is like 5 or 6 times more expensive of a set than 151. Like, in my opinion, it just makes sense that these will get to that point in a couple years, in a year. I think it's very possible that it's going to happen. So that's where I say, you know, 240, it might seem expensive because it's above MSRP, it's quadruple MSRP. But if you take a step back and look at actual data and see what's happened to previous PC ETBs, and I'm not even showing you like Obsidian Flames and Paldea Evolve, those ETBs, PC ETBs being crazy expensive. I mean, buying the most expensive modern set, PC ETB on a restock when it dropped $100, to buy it at 240, 250, you think that's a bad idea? If you think it's a bad idea, don't buy it. But don't be surprised in, you know, a year from now if these are close to where 151 PC ETBs are, because it just sort of makes sense. And that's why for me, I rationalized it that way and I bought them. I get, you know, $240 for an ETB. Yes, you could say it's expensive, but think about it also this way. How many especially ETBs, regular ETBs in the past have been that expensive? Hidden Fates, Shining Legends, right? Even 151. Regular 151 ETBs are like 230, 240. That's just as expensive as Prismatic PC ETBs. So if you really think an exclusive PC ETB at 240 is that expensive, 151 ETBs, you might as well sell them. If you really think that's a crazy price, then you might as well sell the normal 151 ETB, right? Because it's not even exclusive. It's crazy expensive, right? Just some, you know, things to think about, some things to rationalize, because so many people think $240, $250 is so expensive for a Prismatic PC ETB. But when you really look at, you know, what has happened to other sets in the past, it's such a cheap price in my opinion. And that's why I picked up so many. And honestly, I really think this is one of your last chances to buy from this, you know, recent restock and get these for a huge discount. Like I said, don't be surprised when these go up, because I really think the next couple weeks they'll probably rebound to close where they were before, and you would have missed out on this great opportunity. So just here to say it, if you don't want to buy, don't buy it. You know, you buying it or not buying it doesn't really affect me, but for you guys out there that maybe need or want to hear some advice about the, you know, PC ETBs, I really think this is still one of the greatest opportunities, and it's slowly going away. So that's all I want to talk about here. Hope you guys enjoyed. You know, see you in the next one.